My wife gave a lap dance to a stranger at an indoor trampoline park birthday party. I clapped like an idiot to play it off, and that's when I realized the guy wasn't a stranger. Yeah, I know how that sounds. Like some made-up clickbait thing you'd hear over stock footage of a sad dude staring out a window. Except it happened to me. It was 6:17 p.m. on April 12th. I remember it like it's burned into the back of my eyes because the giant red digital clock over the foam pit flashed 6:17 while kids were launching themselves like missiles. And I was thinking, cool, another 30 minutes of chaos and we can bounce. We were there for my nephew's ninth birthday. The place smelled like pepperoni, sweat, and those disinfectant wipes they pretend work. Jenna had on black leggings and a cropped hoodie. She'd had 2 canned margaritas from the snack counter. Not sloppy, just loose, extra confident. That version of her. Some DJ, because apparently trampoline parks need DJs now, started hyping up the adults for a parents' dance challenge. Most people did that fake little shuffle. Jenna sprinted out there like she'd been waiting for her moment. I laughed. Like, that's my wife. She's always been the loud one. Then she backed it up on this tall guy in a gray flannel, and he didn't react like some random dude getting surprised. He didn't flinch. He didn't step away. He just knew what to do with his hands, like they'd already practiced not crossing lines. And me? I clapped. I literally clapped, smiling like an idiot, like I was watching a halftime show because my brain went into play dumb mode before I even understood why. If you're listening right now, do me a favor, subscribe and drop a comment because I swear my life has been running on sitcom rules and nobody told me. And if you've ever laughed at something that actually made your stomach drop, I want to hear it. That fake laugh, it haunts you later. Anyway, the music stopped. Jenna hopped off him, smacked his chest like they were teammates, and jogged back to me like nothing happened. "You see that?" she said, grinning. "Hard to miss," I said. She leaned in like she was telling me a secret and goes, "Relax. It's just Derek. Just Derek." And right there, something in my head went cold because I had never heard that name in my entire life. We'd been married 8 years, together 11. I knew her co-workers, her college people, her cousin's weird boyfriend, the lady who did her nails. Derek wasn't on the list. "Oh yeah," I said, keeping it light, because my body wanted to freak out, but my mouth refused. "From where?" "Gym," she said, too quick, like she'd already rehearsed that answer. She had a boutique gym with eucalyptus towels and smoothies that cost like a car payment. I went to a cheap place by my office where the air always smelled like rubber. Derek wandered over a minute later holding a Capri Sun like he belonged there. "Man, your wife's got moves," he said, and stuck out his hand. His handshake lingered a beat too long. Not enough to call out, but enough to notice. I smiled. "Yeah, she saves the good stuff for trampoline parks." He laughed. Jenna didn't look at me. And if you think that's the part that broke me, nah, that was just the trailer. The real punch came later, from something so stupid I still get mad thinking about it. Because the next day, the thing that started screaming at me wasn't Derek's name. It was a ceramic cactus. I had this ugly little ceramic cactus pen holder on my desk at home. Jenna bought it for me at a street fair years ago. It was chipped on one side, so I always kept the chip facing the wall. Just a dumb little habit. That morning I sat down to pay bills before work, and the cactus was turned, chip facing out. I stared at it way too long, like it was gonna confess. Jenna never used my desk, ever. She said it stressed her out. I turned it back, shrugged it off, and went about my day. But later that afternoon, a meeting got canceled and I came home early. Jenna wasn't there. Her car was gone. And the cactus turned again. Here's where my brain did something weird. I didn't jump straight to, she's cheating. I went to, who the hell is in my house? I checked doors, windows, walked room to room like a paranoid idiot. Nothing missing, no broken locks, just that cactus turn like someone wanted me to notice, or didn't care if I did. When Jenna got home, I tried to sound casual. You use my desk today? I asked. No, she said, dropping her bag like she'd been carrying bricks. Why? The cactus was turned. She laughed. You and that cactus. It's haunted, babe. Then she kissed my cheek and went upstairs like we didn't just have the world's weirdest conversation. Haunted. I told myself I was overthinking, that I was tired, that I was being dramatic. But a couple days later, I borrowed her car because mine was in the shop. I got in, and the first thing I saw was the oil change sticker on the windshield. Next service at 52,000 miles. The odometer read 54,300. I blinked like the numbers were going to rearrange themselves. We'd hit 48,000 not long ago. I remembered because I made some dumb joke about the car being middle-aged, and Jenna rolled her eyes. That's over 6,000 miles that didn't make sense. Jenna worked from home 3 days a week. Her office was 15 minutes away. She hated driving. She definitely wasn't doing secret road trips. So that night, I asked like I was just making conversation. When did you get the oil changed? I said. Last month, she replied, not even looking up from her laptop. At 52,000? I asked. She froze for half a second, just a tiny pause. But once you see that pause, you can't unsee it. Yeah, she said. Why? We're at 54 now. She shrugged, super casual. They must have written it wrong. Must have. And listen, if you've ever had someone hit you with a must have, like it's a magical eraser, you know exactly how it feels, like you're being told gently to shut up. The next morning, I did something I've never done in our entire relationship. I opened her glove compartment, not looking for love letters, not looking for anything crazy, just something that explained miles. And there it was, a flimsy parking garage QR receipt folded up like trash. Location, Riverfront Towers garage. Timestamp, 6:42 p.m. Date, April 12th, the exact same day as the trampoline park. I stood in the driveway holding that little paper like it was radioactive, because Riverfront Towers was 40 minutes in the opposite direction from the trampoline park. And she'd told me she was running late that day because of traffic. Traffic doesn't take you to a whole different part of town and charge you for parking. I didn't burst inside yelling. I didn't call her names. I put the receipt back like I never saw it. Then I spent the rest of the day feeling like my skin didn't fit right. That weekend, Jenna told me she was meeting gym friends for brunch. Derek? I asked, trying to sound like I wasn't thinking about that name in the shower, at work, in the grocery store aisle. She gave me this look like I was a child who wouldn't stop asking about dinosaurs. You're still on that? I'm just asking. Yeah, she said. He might be there. Might. She left around 10 a.m. I told myself I wasn't going to do anything stupid. I told myself I was going to be mature, like a grown man, like the calm, rational husband. And then at noon, I drove past Riverfront Towers anyway. I don't even have a good excuse. My hands just turned the wheel. I pulled through the garage entrance slow, like I was just passing by. Her car wasn't there, and for a second I felt relief. Like, okay, maybe I'm losing it. Maybe I'm spiraling over nothing. So I went home feeling embarrassed. And the second I walked in, the cactus was turned again. I stopped in the doorway like I'd been hit with a soundless siren. I hadn't touched it that morning. I walked through the house slowly. No Jenna, no weird noises, no missing stuff. But the sliding back door was unlocked. We always locked it. Always. I went to my desk and stared at it, and then I noticed something else. This faint water ring on the wood, right next to where the cactus sat, like someone set a cold drink down and let it sweat. I don't drink at my desk. Jenna doesn't either, and my chair was pulled out just a little, like someone had scooted back and forgot to push it in. That's when it hit me. Somebody had been sitting in my chair, in my house, while I was at work. And if you're thinking, okay, this is where you lose your mind, yeah, that's where my mind started packing its bags. I waited until she got home. How often does Derek spot you? I asked. She rolled her eyes so hard I thought they'd get stuck. Why are you obsessed with him? I'm not. I'm curious. Couple times a week, she said. A week? I repeated. Yeah. So he's here, I asked. In this house. Her face snapped sharp. What are you talking about? I pointed at the desk like I was presenting evidence in court. That cactus has been moved 3 times. She laughed again, but this time it wasn't playful. It was irritated, like I was wasting her time. You need help, she said. And I swear, hearing your own wife tell you that, with that tone, makes you feel 2 inches tall. I reached into my pocket and set the parking garage QR receipt on the counter. Riverfront Towers, I said, April 12th, 6:42 p.m. The second her eyes hit it, her whole face went blank. That's not mine, she said instantly. It was in your glove compartment, I replied. Silence. Not awkward silence. Heavy silence. The kind where the air changes. Then she did something I didn't expect at all. She sat down, not defensive, not yelling, not denying harder. Just tired. Okay, she said quietly. Okay. That one word landed like a brick. Okay, what? I asked, and my voice sounded too calm for what was happening. She rubbed her forehead, eyes closed. I didn't think you'd notice. Notice what, Jenna? She finally said it. Derek wasn't just a gym guy. He lived at Riverfront Towers. They'd started talking after a class. Coffee, drinks, more drinks, lines moving back slowly until they weren't lines. She didn't give me details, not the gross kind, just enough to make the shape of it clear. He makes me feel lighter, she said. Lighter. I looked around our kitchen, our stupid little magnets on the fridge, the mail on the counter, the life we built that suddenly felt like cardboard. Was he here? I asked. She hesitated, and that hesitation told me everything. He came over a few times, she admitted, when you were at work. My chest went hollow, like someone scooped it out. At my desk? I asked because I couldn't stop thinking about my chair, my space, my stupid cactus. She frowned like she didn't even understand why that mattered. What? The cactus, I said. The water ring. She covered her face with both hands. I'm sorry, she mumbled into her palms. Not it meant nothing. Not it was a mistake. Just sorry. I asked how long. Since February, she said. 2 months. That's not a slip-up. That's a schedule. That's 6,000 miles. That's oil changes and parking QR receipts, and my wife grinding on a dude in public like I was a stranger. I stared at her and asked the one thing that actually mattered to me right then. Why humiliate me like that? I said. She looked confused, like she didn't even get the question. At the party, I said, in front of everyone. She shrugged, small and casual. I didn't think you'd know. And that's when something inside me cracked clean, because it wasn't just the cheating. It was that she thought I was that dumb, like I was furniture in my own house, like I was background noise. I slept on the couch that night, and I remember waking up at 6:17 a.m., the same stupid number, like the universe was mocking me, and staring at the ceiling thinking, how did I become the guy clapping at his own humiliation? I got up and packed a bag. Jenna stood in the doorway, watching like she was watching a weather report. Where are you going? She asked. Anywhere else, I said. And she didn't beg. She didn't chase me. She didn't collapse crying. She just stood there, arms at her sides. I moved into my buddy's spare room for a couple weeks. During that time, Jenna texted me, but not like you'd expect. No dramatic apologies, no paragraphs, no, please don't leave. It was bills, dog food, mail. Did you pay the internet? Like we were roommates splitting rent. That part messed with my head more than I want to admit. Then one afternoon, I went back to the house to grab more clothes. She said she'd be at work. Her car was in the driveway. I almost turned around, but I went in anyway. The house was quiet, the kind of quiet that makes your ears ring. I walked straight to my office, and my desk looked wrong because the ceramic cactus was gone, not moved. Gone. In its place was this dusty, empty circle where it used to sit, like a little outline of something missing. My throat tightened, and I got this ugly rush of anger like, really? Now you're throwing my stuff away too? I checked the kitchen trash. Nothing. So I went to the garage, popped the lid on the big can, and there it was. The cactus, broken in half, just dumped like it was nothing. I stood there holding the pieces, and I swear it felt heavier than it ever had when it was whole. When Jenna came home, I was sitting at the kitchen table with those broken pieces in front of me. She walked in, saw it, and sighed like I left dishes in the sink. You threw it away, I said. It was ugly, she replied instantly. It was mine, I said. She crossed her arms. You're really upset about a cactus? And that's when I leaned forward and said it as clear as I could. No, I said. I'm upset because you think I won't notice when my life gets rearranged. That finally shut her up. We talked for hours that night, and it wasn't some movie scene. It was two people sitting in a kitchen, exhausted, saying ugly truths. She admitted she'd been going to Riverfront twice a week, sometimes more. That's where the miles came from. That's why the oil sticker didn't match the odometer. That's why she kept saying traffic. I asked if Derek knew she was married. She nodded. And what did he say? I asked. She swallowed and said, he said that was my problem. Of course he did. And the crazy thing, she didn't even sound shocked by that. Like she accepted it. Like she'd been living in that world for a while. There wasn't a dramatic showdown. No fists, no screaming in a driveway with neighbors peeking through blinds. It ended quieter than that. I filed for separation 3 weeks later. She didn't fight it. No big argument. No, how could you do this to me? Just quiet paperwork energy, like we were canceling a gym membership. Last I heard, she moved into Riverfront Towers with Derek. And me? I kept the cactus pieces. I glued them back together in my buddy's garage because I needed something to do with my hands besides shake. Now the crack runs straight down the middle, and it looks even uglier than before. But it sits on my new desk, chip facing forward, because I'm not doing that thing anymore, pretending I don't see what's right in front of me. If your gut starts whispering and you catch yourself laughing it off, don't. That laugh is your brain trying to keep the peace while your life quietly falls apart. And if you've made it this far, yeah, subscribe, because I've got more stories, and I'm done.